City of Roses, Pasadena Media, the Arroyo Channel, with the Aldonia Show. Hello, welcome to my world. I am on a creative journey, and today I'm going to talk to you about the present. Don't you just love presents? Everybody loves getting a gift. Everybody loves presents. What's your present? What are you bringing to the present? This time right now that we have, I'm hopeful that you are doing some amazing things in your life. I'm hopeful that your life is amazing as it is, but there's always room for improvement. And the last few years, I'm working on being my best. I hope you're working on being your best, because that is the journey, the only journey that you really want to go on, is the journey of being your best. And last week I was at the studio. I'm going to share one of my journeys with you. I met a young man, older gentleman. His name was Present. His name just happened to be Cliff Present. I find that amazing because I've been working on your presence for the last few years. And I always ask him, what is your present? What is your gift? I've met some people who don't even realize they have a gift. Their hobby, they don't know what they really like to do. Your hobbies are part of your gifts. If you can go back to your childhood and remember things that you enjoyed doing when you were a kid, that's probably one of your gifts. I know when I think of myself, I go back and think of things that I enjoyed doing. Creating, I've always enjoyed creating. And when I think about painting, I love painting. Couldn't always paint, didn't have the time, tools, but I love painting. Over the years, I realized that is a really good gift that I have. That's one of my gifts. And I'm bringing that gift to the present. The painting over here is one of my gifts. And this gift I'm doing in the present can be a present. You know, you have to take time, look at yourself, find your gift. Share with others your gift. Share with the world. There's so many people and children that needs your gift once you know what that gift is. I want to talk to you about the present. I'm going to go back to the present. You see, qualities of what you need when you have your present. You'll find out that the best quality I would say to have it be integrity. Doing what you say is saying what you do. And having respect for yourself and having respect for others. I think that's a good gift and that's a good present. And when you're presenting yourself, the character of yourself, in the present, that's a good present. Not only is it talent that you can use and create, and abilities, but your inner self, how you feel, how you treat others. And guess what? That becomes a gift to others. That becomes a present to others. That's so important. So, if you think about the things you want to do in life, I'd like you to share them with me. You can send me a text. You can find me on Facebook. Just look up simply Aldonia. Share your gift with me. Share your talent. I'm always out looking around for great talent, people to share their gifts. Now, all of my gifts are in my phone. And what I'm going to, hold on one second. can I give? Okay, well. Teamwork. One of the gifts I want to talk about is working together as a team. When you have a dream that you want to share, when you have a dream that you decide you want to do something in life, it takes a team. You can't fulfill that dream without the team. It takes a team. I'm working on a project called Artistic Art Journey, and that encompasses, no matter where I'm going, I'm doing something creative on that journey. I had an idea to teach people how to fulfill that dream. I love dreaming, and I love daydreaming. And when you're daydreaming, you get to create. And that's part of creation. And see, when you have something that you want to do and you believe that you can do it, that thought comes in your mind, and once you imagine that thought, you go to sleep on it, you wake up, you think about it again, you go out, you find a team to work with you on that dream. That's the way you have to do that. When you get that dream and that idea, you go out, you look for resources, you find all the materials that you need to create that dream. Whether it's a family member, a best friend, because there are like-minded people who sometimes have the same dream. You know how you think you come up with an idea, and you say, oh man, I got this great idea. There's nobody else got the same idea. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to do this. I'm going to create this, and nobody else has it. Then you go online, you're on the computer, and you realize you put your dream idea in, and you feel like somebody has that same idea. That's a like-minded person. Don't let that stop you from doing your dream. You really want to connect with that person and see how they're doing their dream so you could fulfill the way you create your dream. I had the dream to create an organization. I did. I did the research. I wanted to work with children. I wanted to work with families. I really wanted to work with the young at art. And I started this project because I would meet people that say, I cannot paint or I can't draw. And I say, why not? And then they realize you can do whatever you like. You can paint and you can draw with a good teacher, with a good team. So if that's your dream to create, to be an artist, find like-minded individuals that can work with you on that dream. You see, I got a dream team. And next episode, I'm going to share some of the members of my dream team. And I used to wonder, how could people work together for 20 years, 30 years? When you have a dream and when you're doing something you're passionate about, you will stay there. You will stay in that relationship. You will stay in that field. You will stay there because you're passionate about it and you really love what you're doing. And if that's your dream, to create and to stay, find a team. There's so much to talk about today. If I were able to help someone from my journey, I would say never give up. When you get tired, rest. Don't give up. Don't give up. When you think you can't find help, there's help. There are support teams to work together. Don't ever give up your dream. I have fulfilled my dream. Where I am today, even doing this show here at Pasadena Media, dreams come true. Finally, it took me about 15 years to get here in this spot where I am today to decide to make that decision. And finally, after working with amazing people on my journey, like-minded people. I finally made it here in this seat so I could share some of my gifts, some of the talents that I have to share. I'm going to go back and talk about the art. My first love is one of my gifts. I have many gifts, but I'm going to talk about the art. See this painting over here in the back? I love the outdoors. I love the trees, the forest. And this painting, the painting process reminds me of life. When you look at that painting, I look at it, I don't just see trees. I see trees and the flowers and pretty peach skies and blue sunlight coming from behind the trees. When I first started painting, I would sit down and sketch and draw the trees out, and then I would use my coloring book style technique from painting, like I was painting the coloring book. And then I realized that's a lot of work. Over time, I realized that that's not really the way to do it. And one day I had an instructor, and she said, "Oh, I like that painting, but I'm not sure that's a good painting." And I thought she was crazy. I'm like, what's wrong with her? I'm like, that's a good painting. But what I realized over time, it was the process she was talking about. Life has a process. And when you understand the process, you understand life. When you understand life process, you understand the journey. And you can compare that process, that life process journey, to your creation. No matter what you do, whether you're creating a cake, whether you're making a dress, whether you're singing a song, the foundation of creation starts with a single step, and it starts with a process. Understanding the process. One day, if you at home and you like to paint, and you can join me while I'm painting this process. I like trees because when I think of trees, I think of the family trees. I think of the family tree. And it's important to know who you are. That's also part of that family tree. When you know who you are, where you come from, where you belong, you feel better about yourself when you know some things about yourself. So if you don't know who you are, I suggest you go do some homework. If you have any doubt about who you are, I suggest you do some homework. You have to know. I know who I am. Some of us don't get to know everything about ourselves. But if you look inside yourself, everything you have is inside of you. When you decide you want to do something, you've made the decision and you have the desire to do it already. That's part of who you are. You know, you ever seen some brothers and sisters walk together and one pull their ear and the other one pull their ear? They have the same kind of tics or motions or the same smile or the same little wink or something. You ever walk down the street and see somebody say, you know what, that looks just like so-and-so. That looks like my neighbor. And when does he relate it to somebody I know? You know, intuition is a good thing. Intuition is also a gift. When you see somebody look like somebody, more than likely they're related to some capacity. Not only just because we're human from the human race, but they're related. You see them when you travel, whether you're in Pasadena, West Covina, LA, Glendale. When I travel, I always usually see somebody that resembles somebody, and I also see people I know. When I was a child, we would travel. I'm originally from Louisiana, and we traveled from Louisiana to California. And when I got here, there were several people that came from Louisiana too that I didn't even know were there. I know I saw that familiar face, and I remember when I saw them, thousands of miles traveling. And as an artist, for me, looking at objects, trees, inanimate objects, you start to see things in a different light. Artists will look totally different at life. I'm going to go back to the painting over here. Look at the colors. Look at the colors. Would you ever imagine in your wildest dream, if you weren't an artist, how to create that brown, that shade of brown? The shade of brown, red and green makes a brown. Pretty much that's how I got that shade of brown in those trees. If you look in the corner, I think it'll be on your right side, there's a shade of pink, and the pink is reflecting off the curtain that I'm sitting here talking to you guys, that peach. And I took a little white and mixed into my peach and my little yellows. And even when you look at the greens, there's about over 50 different shades of green in that tree. In the bushes in the back and the flowers in the front. Creation. If I'm in my dream state and I see something I want to do and create, you imagine it, you ponder over it, you think about it, and you create it. You go out there and you get the tools, you build your team, you do your research, you make it happen. So you're going to decide what it is you want to do, decide what you're passionate about, build your team, you're going to get your tools, you're going to take notes, and you're going to start that journey of creation, whatever it is you want. And if you need me, you can always reach me on social media. If you need my assistance to create whatever you like, let me know. I'm going to talk a little bit about, anybody ever seen this card before? The work that I do, I work with families. And I come from a large family also. I have a large family. I have 12 of us. 6 brothers and 6 sisters. I have 6 of my own. So my experience comes from within. My lineage I'm born into. And this card says, I experience love wherever I go. This card was created by Louise Hayes. I met Louise Hayes, I didn't meet her in person, but I met her through experience that I was having at work with a young lady I work with, Miss Miles, and Isabel Cardova. They introduced me to the writings in a book Louise Hayes wrote. So, this card says there's power in your thoughts. Whatever you're thinking, you can make that come true. And it says, love is everywhere, and I am loving and lovable. Loving people fill my life. I find myself easily expressing love to others. Well, I agree totally with her. If you look for love everywhere you go, you'll find it. If you look for hate everywhere you go, you'll find it. So look for love. Be love. Be the love. Be kind. Show kindness. Be caring. And care for others. Because what I know, the laws of the land and laws of reciprocity, what you give, you receive. You give love, you get love. You be kind, you get kindness. If you focus on hate, you get hate. You want to be careful what you're thinking, what you're putting on your mind, because you are in charge of your mind's business. You make the choice. You choose how you want to feel. You get to choose. Every single day you leave your home, you walk outside, you get to choose. I try to make a conscious effort to treat people, not what I see, but treat them how I want to be treated. It's very important to me. I want you to treat your neighbor like you treat yourself. Treat your child like you treat yourself. Sometimes we can forget about things. We forget about people's feelings sometimes. But if you remember, all things in love, you will experience love wherever you go. That's what you want to do. You want to show love. You want to be loved. Because everybody wants to be loved. So from today, I want you to take notes. Take a mental note in your mind to be thoughtful, to be kind. And if you like journaling, get your notebook out and take notes. I found this beautiful journal. You can take notes. Journal. Take notes. Journal your life. Keep track of what you're doing, the things you want to do, the places you want to go. Take a look in the book. You remember that quote? Anybody remember that quote? Lamar, I think that was Lamar Bird. Take a look in the book. Travel anywhere. I wrote a poem about celebrating the child. Celebrating the child. When you teach them how to read, take a look in the book. Journal. Journal helps you track where you're going, helps you track your world, you get to map out your life. You can go back and reflect on it. Right now we have our smartphones, we have our laptops, we have our iPads and our phones. I got my notes. I keep my notes. I also keep a mental note. So journal your life away. And while you're journaling, I'm going to be producing a journaling workshop. Hopefully, I'll be doing it here at Pasadena Media. And you can journal with me, and we can journal together. I had a conversation with my son this morning about scheduling. I asked him to give me a schedule months ago. He didn't. It's okay. He will eventually. I'm getting him prepared for journaling. I started journaling, I think I was about 5, 6 years old. I remember my mother giving me a pencil and a paper in my hand. I've been writing ever since. I wrote a piece called Next Time. And maybe next time I'll read it and share it with you, that poem next time. But next time, I told him, you're going to journal. I'm going to do it with you. We're going to work together. And you're going to give me that schedule. Because when you schedule and you journal, you keep track of your life. You keep track of yourself. And what it does best for your mind, when you have a lot of things on your mind and you weigh it in your mind, when you write it down on paper, you take it outside of your body and mind and you put it on paper. You know, you got a million things to do. Put it on paper. I used to be a secretary for years, and I would take notes, but sometimes I would see the supervisor, and she said, well, Aldonia, write it down. I'm like, but I can tell you right here. She says, okay, we'll write it down. And I said, okay. Then I didn't do it. She said, write it down. I started writing it down. I said, she explained to me, if you tell me, that's one thing, but if I forget it later on, that's another thing. I can always reflect back to that note. It's like a mental backup for you. I tell my son, if you got stopped and you had to go to court and you needed your notes and you remember where you were, if you look back and you took notes the night before, or you kept a schedule of where you were, you got notes. You got your journal here. I've probably got a stack of journals with all my spoken word, some emotional feelings journal. It's not for everybody. I might have something about you in there. Don't put your name in there. If you know me, that I know you. Don't stop journaling. Take notes. Map your life. Right now, I'm revamping my life. I'm remapping. And next time, you can map with me. And then I will share some amazing information that I found. I've been doing some research. I found an amazing young man who's got over 50 maps of life. And these maps of life, I get the opportunity to share with you, to share with my friends, to share with the families I work with. I even get to map my own life. So, I hope you enjoyed the show today. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to doing more shows. I'm going to be working with the Young at Art Project. Hopefully I'll be able to have your children be my guests. Hopefully you would like to be a guest next time we do Simply Aldonia Show. But for my next show, I am so super excited. I have some amazing guests. If you live in the city, you may know them. And if you don't live here, you will get the opportunity to meet my guests. In the meantime, and between time, sending peace, love, joy, and everything in between. My name is Aldonia.